I do as best as I can just because it's on the res. I know I can vote at NYC too, but mainly situations that are closer to home, I would say.
I vote because I believe it allows me to have a say in our nation's leaders. I think the main reason I vote is to try to find a candidate or a delegate who kind of fits my ideals and where I want the nation to go to, and so.
I don't currently vote in Navajo elections because I'm not on the reservation all the time. I currently live in the city, and I go to UNM right now as a student.
I haven't voted in the Navajo elections, but that's because I was underage at the time. I do plan to vote in the future, so in this upcoming election, in that good way.
Why?
Because I think it's important that Navajo people be mobilized around their, the future of Navajo politics. Our politicians are meant to serve their people, serve their chapter.
I do not. Main reason is that it's kind of like a displacement thing. Like, I'm not on the reservation and it's kind of too far for me to go.
Some values that I would want in a candidate probably respect, of course, because you need a candidate, a leader, to be respectful, and you need the basic core values of respect, responsibility, for the responsibility of the actions and responsibility of the roles that they need to obtain, and also I would say open communication, just because I know none of that happens.
For me, it's really important that a candidate is there for the people and to try to fix things, as opposed to using the nation as an ATM. I really want someone who I feel like I can trust and who can actually lead the people and take charge of the nation, because I know we have a lot of problem leaders that are not there. They're only there for themselves and their families, and that's not what the nation is about. That's not what the Navajo people are about.
Someone who's can lead the Navajo people in the right direction, away from gang violence and drugs and the mentality of, you have to be good at something, whether it's bad or good.
First off, I'd really like to see transparency. I think in the past there's been a lot of muddled politics, dealings under the table, sketchy situations, and I'd like to see just a more open and honest government, something that communicates with its people and is very clear about what it's doing.
I guess, to be honest, not to be too elusive or shady about the way he goes around doing things, just upfront, I guess.
I would like the Navajo Nation to see some sort of formal change, just because I know we did get the big settlement that we do have also, and I'm not too sure what the details are on the settlement, but it's like I know some tribal leaders from other tribes, specifically Pueblo tribes, that told me in the old Navajo ways, would you kill your mother's sheep or would you keep making more sheep? This is kind of the same concept.
I think the biggest thing I want them to achieve is economic independence. I feel a lot of times we rely too much on the U.S. government and for their handouts, and in my opinion, if we allow the U.S. to kind of give money and have an influence on our decisions, we're not truly sovereign and we can't really make our decisions. We have to wait for the U.S.'s approval of things.
It'd be nice to see the tribe be a political entity in U.S. politics, to be involved a lot more. People were surprised when we had a black president. I think it'd be even more surprising to have a Native American president.
Well, I think traditionally, way back when, they say that you know, we're a nomadic tribe. We're spread out all over, and so I think it's important to be aware of that autonomy that our people have held traditionally, and you know, mobilize around what do our people individually need, our communities need, and how are we going to help those, you know, local communities.
Better to be more self-sufficient, more sovereign. You know, like less funding from the government, more independence.
Well, like I said, recently is the whole settlement agreement. I'm not too sure the details on it, but that's one that I do see as an issue, that just because it's such a big lump sum amount of money, how are we going to be able to use it to better our tribes? Like I said, are we going to give everybody per cap and only give everybody a good grand each, and the money's going to be gone forever, or do we make it sort of investments that the Navajo Nation can get more money out of, so we can have more per cap checks for our future generations?
I think a lot of it, we need to take care of the people a little bit better than we are now. I know alcoholism and drug abuse is something that's really problematic on the reservation, and even though things like that are banned on the reservation, there's still a problem with border cities and whatnot, and we're really too lenient on a few of those things. And stuff.
Right now, some issues on the reservation that are important to me are, I guess, the restoration from fire. You know, how they handled the aid wasn't really too appealing. You know,
I think it's important that, you know, we help to sustain this earth and this like this parcel of land that we live on, because that's a part of like who we are as a people, is interacting with this earth, understanding where we come from, and having a relationship that benefits both parties. And so we can't just be taking. We need to give back and have a healthy relationship.
Mainly like the environment, like coal mining. I don't know. I guess that would be probably like the biggest thing for me.
Just better handling of the whole environmental situation.
Yeah, better handling of the resources, be more efficient, just that kind of stuff.
Well, Navajo Nation has already helped me out a lot just by the scholarships. That's helped out me so much by going to school, by paying for classes, paying for books, paying for little things like, you know, my apartment and gas. The Navajo Nation has already helped me through that, not only Navajo Nation scholarship, but my chapter scholarship as well. So
I think mainly for them, going back to the couple other questions, they really have to kind of be able to take charge and be able to be economically independent to kind of help a lot of students. I know there's still a lot of scholarships, but still, if they could do a little bit more and do a little bit better in the school aspect, because we have to have educated people to come back and help the reservation, because right now there's really no jobs there. There's no economic opportunity for them.
well, they're helping me out through funds and scholarships right now in school, and I'm going to school to be a nuclear engineer, so it's really helping me out a lot. And as far as my personal goals, I believe it's up to me, and when it comes to people's personal goals, it's really, you have to look in the mirror to be successful and not out the window.
You know, I think if someone could pick up the phone, that would be great. like calling the offices, if someone could pick up the phone, if I could talk to somebody, that would really help. Beyond that, I think really putting a lot of money towards scholarships and youth, like, it's really important that our youth go on to get an education, and that's also like a major way that we're gonna get people to come back.
Maybe once every year or week or month or so, write me a letter just to ask me how I'm doing.
Well, a good leader, I would say, is non-corruptible. I know that's a really hard quality just because I always see a lot of corruption, and I really don't want to see that. I want to see more of us working together as a tribe that we used to in the past. And that would be, you know, like I said, respect, responsibility, respecting everybody, respecting the children, the women, the men, as all as equal people, not a ladder of people. I don't see that as leadership. I see as all of us working together with somebody in the front going towards the right direction. That's how I see leadership.
For me, it would be someone who is there for the tribe and who is actually going to do stuff, who has an agenda and follows through and can get the cooperation from the delegates as well, because I know we follow a U.S. kind of system and we see how that is right now, and not a lot's getting done. And so I think we really need to rethink on how we do things, and I think we need a leader that can actually institute a lot of changes that'll be for the better.
A good leader to me is someone who's willing to work from the bottom all the way to the top. Mm-hmm. So, say for an example of me in the kitchen, it'd be like someone starting as a dishwasher, working up to a prep cook, and then a line cook, and then running the whole crew. You know what I mean? So they know every position.
Yeah, so they know how to work in every position.
Yeah, and at the same time, they're never willing to ask someone on their crew or someone under them to do something they're not willing to do themselves.
I think a good leader first comes with someone who can listen and someone who can observe. It's really important that that a leader listen to who they're serving. And if you don't know who your people are, then you certainly can't speak for them.
Knowing what to do, I guess, in times of like hardship or like in a very stressful situation.